Oh,
Hey friends, welcome to this week's episode of Dead Funny University. I am your host and fellow student Kelsey, and joining me today is, in the 24th episode of our Zelda semester, is of course Chris, who's been teaching all of these and has started his own nod the head beat when I give my introduction. So, if you're going to be sassy, you got to tell us how you are.
There you go. I wouldn't say sassy, I was more just trying to crack my neck.
Oh, get a chiropractor, my dude.
Yeah, I need one bad. Been needing one for years. But yeah, no. Not sassy. I'd say I don't know. Twilight Princess probably wasn't one of the highest ones on my list, so be excited to get to another game I'm a little bit more thrilled about. Like, this one was still a good game, don't get me wrong, but this wasn't one of the highest ones on my list. Maybe it's because I played it so fast and just beat it out. I mean, it's that one I stayed up all night and beat it in like a 24-hour period, so grinded it out, maybe just destroyed it for myself. I don't know. It was when the Wii came out, and I wasn't really a big fan of the Wii, so you had to do like the whole like swing in. And,
So we're heading into the forest.
Yes, we're heading into the forest. So yeah, we're heading into the forest because we just saved the last Light Guardian, and now we need to continue to move forward doing that.
Yes.
So moving into the forest, there's like a lot of Shadow Beast stuff going on because we have to remember at this point, all the light has been taken from all the Guardians besides the one that we just restored light to. So Twilight now covers all of Hyrule. So anytime we step into the Twilight, realistically, we're going to be fighting Twilight Beast, Shadow Beast, the things with the long hair that we've already seen.
Yeah.
All those fun things. Yeah. So moving into the forest, we're hoping to get to the next Guardian because we were told by the last Guardian that he might be able to help us restore our human form, our true form is what they call it.
So we don't have to be a wolf anymore.
Correct. So moving on into the forest, like I said, not a lot of stuff happens before, but basically we find our way to the natural water spring. Every Guardian is pretty much at a natural water spring. Basically, I'm trying to think. Okay, so yeah, I thought there was a name for it, but I don't think there is. And it's the natural water spring that's in the forest. We're just going to go with that. So basically, when we get there, we see it's kind of like a golden mist, if you will, where it speaks to us, letting us know, like, hey, my light has been stolen, and I cannot help you out until you get this, recovered. Basically, and this is the weird part, but there were these like little shadow insects, is what they're called, that have stolen the light. So he gives us a vessel to obtain the light in, which is this grape on the vine shaped thing here. And every time we kill one of these shadow insects that have devoured the light, it will go into one of the little bulbs.
So we slowly get a bunch of grapes of light.
Yes, and then once it's filled up, we'll automatically teleport back to him to restore him back. These are the little shadow insects that we look for.
They're adorable!
I forgot Kelsey's all about that kind of stuff.
I am.
Reptiles, insects,
look at his little green eyeballs. Oh!
So yeah, we find those, we kill those, and then we gather the light, and then we go back to the pond, or whatever you want to call it, spring, and we get the Light Guardian, Farin. And this is what he looks like. Kind of like a little monkey holding his globe with his tail wrapping all the way around.
Neat. Now, I feel like a monkey with a long tail. This is... You said Farin.
Farin, yep.
Yeah, this is definitely coming from some actual mythology.
It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. I didn't read that deep into it, but it would not surprise me.
And it very much looks like the at symbol.
That's fair. That's their lore. We didn't know this the entire time, but Link is the key to Silicon Valley. That's what it is. Fucking A.
Anyways, continue.
So, that being said, so he spawns and basically tells us why we transformed into a wolf. The reason why we transformed into a wolf is because we were chosen by the gods to be the true one, which is why we have a true self versus just our light self. So our true self then gets revealed as a camera pans out. We are now standing there in full on fucking Hero of Time green tunic gear. Fuck yeah. Because it's not what we were in before. We were in some weird fucking clothes, but now we look like Link. And it's fucking awesome. Oh,
The
yeah,
best.
absolutely. The best. So, then he goes on to tell us that basically the tunic belongs to the Hero of Time, and it's been passed down and passed down and passed down, and we are the next one in line chosen by the gods. That our true name is actually Link.
Cool.
And so I'm guessing we just didn't know what the fuck our name was. Our true name is actually Link, and we are the hero, or the next hero of time, and everything is on our shoulders. You know, that's always the fun stuff to hear.
Yay! Because I want responsibility.
Woo! Anyways, so then he tells us to have a temple in the forest, and that we have to be very careful because anytime we go to step into Twilight Plane now, we will revert back to the wolf.
Ah.
So if we're in the Twilight, so this was their way of making the game twice as long.
Okay.
Because you go through it in the Twilight, beat it as a wolf, and then get the Guardian, and then once the Guardian's done, you go through it as Link, and then beat the temple as Link. So that way it's kind of like you doing two different things in the same area, which isn't a bad thing. It's not repeating shit, which is great.
Now, you hated when they did this when you were tiny. So you were tiny and you did stuff, and then you went back and did it when you were big, and vice versa.
Right, but that's because it was the same shit. That was my problem.
Okay.
It was the same shit.
Got
so
it.
To where this one, it's different, where it's like literally we're outside the forest the entire time as the wolf, hunting shit down and killing shit to get light. And then once we get light, now we're Link, and now it's like, okay, cool. Here's a temple. Go destroy that temple.
Okay.
Bam. That's completely different than like the tiny shit where it's like, run through all this. Okay, cool. Now they're underneath the floor. There's these cracks that you can only fit in tiny mode and get in that and then run the exact same path to go do shit as a tiny Link. It's like, I don't have time for this, dude. I did have time for it because I played it, but I don't have time for it. Anyways, but so yeah. So now we need to move on to the temple. What was cool is that as you're on your way to the temple, you're actually Link, and whenever you get to the entrance, there's this bridge leading up to the entrance door. And at the very front of the bridge is a golden wolf, like a spiritual golden wolf. And it starts to, get up and growl at you. And Link pulls a sword and shield out, and then the wolf jumps at you, and all of a sudden, like, everything goes white. Link opens his eyes to see this feller, who we've somewhat talked about before.
Haha!
Hero's spirit. He basically is there to whip your ass into shape. He tells you. So this is interesting. So this is where we're going to talk about something right quick. I had a completely different notion of what this meant when I first played it because Nintendo hadn't released the fact that they had changed stuff. So I don't know if you've noticed this yet or not, but Link is left-handed. We don't see that a lot in Heroes at all. We normally see a lot of right-handed because that's more, I guess, normal than left-handed, whatever you want to call it. But Link is left-handed. So when you got to Twilight Princess, he was right-handed. And in these scenes with this spirit, he kept saying this one sentence over and over and over again. The sword you wield will not hold any power as long as it is not in the hand of courage. And I kept thinking, well, then sooner or later, Link's just going to wise up and switch hands. Like maybe the Triforce is on his left hand and he keeps using the fucking shield with that hand. And I need him to like fucking switch hands. Like, how the fuck do you do that? Turns out that's not what it meant at all. I just had to continue to keep learning my fucking skills until I got courage. And then I was fucking powerful and could get the Master Sword, which is what he meant. Turns out the reason he was right-handed was because Nintendo was like, hey, this is coming out on the Wii, and there's going to be more right-handed people than there are left-handed people. So let's have Link be right-handed because it would make more sense for the sensors in the Wiimote for him to be right-handed than for him to be left-handed. So yeah, my first time playing it, I was like looking for this hidden meaning and like the reason why I wasn't powerful, and it turns out that I just didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. So it's great. Fantastic. Now, in the GameCube version of this, Link is left-handed.
Okay.
So only in the Wii version is Link actually right-handed, which I thought was pretty interesting little piece of trivia.
But I do really appreciate how far of a rabbit hole you created and then threw
Oh
yourself
yeah,
down. Like, that's
yeah, I
impressive.
jumped right down that motherfucker. I was like, whoop, straight down. Anyways, and the reason why I wanted to point that out is because obviously in this picture where you see them clashing swords, Link is clearly holding the Master Sword in his left hand and the Hylian shield on his right. So, like I said, in the GameCube game, it's normal Link in this one. So they actually considered the Wii, even though it's the exact same game, the Wii version of the game is considered non-canon, by the way. So it's the same version of the game.
Because
was
of that
considered
one
non-canon
moment?
because of the right-handed Link. Yeah.
So in all of the iterations of Link that have ever been created,
always left
it.
Always a lefty. Yep.
That seems like a dumb thing to be insistent about, but okay. I mean, he also always
I don't
wears a
think
green
it's
tunic, so
I don't think it's the well, that's not true. But I don't think it's you haven't gotten to those games yet. But I don't think that it was so much Nintendo. I think it's more the community is like, well, that one's non-canon. So it is what it is. It's not that big a fucking deal, people. But you know, hey, whatever. You lose your soup over what you want, I guess. I don't know. Fucking is what it is.
I've not heard that phrase and I love it.
But this guy basically confirms the fact that you're obviously the hero of time, and he's here to teach you that stuff. Now, here's where things dive into a little bit of the conspiracy theories of Zelda, or the fan theories, if you will. The character model, and it's also the name of the image, is TP, Twilight Princess, Hero's Spirit. So that alone should imply that that is one of the heroes of time, one of the previous ones that we've already played at this point. The interesting part on why it's kind of hard to really understand it is we've never seen the armor ever anywhere else besides on the skeleton. Like, there's no lore about this kind of armor. I mean, the helmet itself is very something that would really stand out to you. Like,
and the mouse breastplate, like.
Yes, exactly. So there is two theories. One of them I see a lot more realistically than the other one. So we'll start with the one that I don't see as well, which is that basically this is the Link from Majora's Mask. That he just kind of grew up in Terminal, actually came back and chose not to leave. He didn't find Zelda, and then became kind of like a mercenary / joined the army, and then died in battle. And that this Link is basically just another iteration of the Hero of Time that he's coming to teach. The other one is that it's the Ocarina of Time Link. So whenever Zelda plays the Ocarina and sends us back in time after we defeat Ganon, we, instead of going to Termina, we end up going and getting in a love relationship with Marin, which was the girl at the ranch that obviously showed feelings towards Link, and same thing vice versa. Which, I mean, this is games like an anime. Every female shows love interest towards Link. Anyways, so both of them get a love interest. They end up like having kids on the farm. And this is that Link's son. Or no, this is that Link's grandson. So basically, as he grew up, there was no more hero work for him. So once again, he became a soldier of the Hyrule army, which once again, there's really not a lot of Hyrule signs on there, but he became a member of a Hyrule army and then died in battle. And this is him now, either one, Twilight Princess being his son, or the more realistic version is Twilight Princess being his grandson.
Okay, I thought you were trying to say that the spirit model that I'm looking at right now was Link's grandson, and you're not. You're trying to say this is Link, and the Link of Twilight Princess is this Link's grandson.
The grandson.
Okay.
Correct.
Cool.
Yes. So, once again, none of this has ever been confirmed by Nintendo, just for the fact of we like to leave you guessing.
Yeah.
They know. We don't know. So yeah, like I said, it's interesting and it's pretty cool whenever you think about that like that. Because I mean, as a kid, I didn't understand the whole hero time thing. So to me, thinking that like every Link that I was playing wasn't the Link that it was before, I just was like, yeah, I don't care about that. So it was like in my mind, it was the same Link every single time. I just, as a kid, it was very hard for me to have change, like to think that it's somebody different.
Yeah.
For instance, Pokemon. Like whenever it was like all new characters, it wasn't Ash and Misty and Rock. I was like, yeah, I don't fucking care. Well, I think it was always Ash, but all these other characters. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Digimon. It was like I watched all the Digimon people, and then like it was like the 4th season, and now it's like now they're all grown up, and now their kids are going through it, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about any of their kids. I don't care about none of this shit. And then I stopped watching Digimon. I didn't like change at all as a kid. I did not give a shit about it. Zero. So it was very much more of like I would talk to people about Zelda and I sounded so uneducated because I'd be like, yeah, no, it's all the same guy. And they're like, well, yeah, it's the hero of time. He gets reincarnated every time. I was like, nah, it's all the same Link. My truth was truth.
Your truth was wrong.
It definitely was.
But I'll bet you people just gave up arguing with you. They're just like, all right, you're wrong, but there's no point.
Like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. And anyways, so basically, I think it's kind of before every temple and then before the final boss, you go here and you kind of learn a new move. This one was just our downward death strike is what it's called, where it's a very classic move for Link, especially in like Smash Bros, where once you have an enemy down, you run up, jump in the air, and then you take your sword and just straight down, bring it all the way down with 2 hands, try to get them, in the face. Kill strike. You want to take them out. That's the death strike. Anyways, awesome. So down B on Smash Bros for those of you who don't know, but yeah, that one. Anyways, so moving on into the Forest Temple. So the first thing I wanted to show you, I don't think you're going to remember this, and it's completely fine if you don't because you are new to the Zelda universe and you have not played it anywhere near as much as I have. No. But does that symbol look familiar to you at all?
No.
And that's completely okay. Completely fine. So in Majura's mask, that was the symbol that was on our shield. It is the Deku symbol.
Ah, okay.
Yep. So the problem is that there are absolutely 0 Deku in this game.
Then what the hell?
I know, right? It was just like, it's the Forest Temple. Fuck it. That's the symbol on there. But that is literally the symbol that's on the wooden shield that Link has in that game. In Majura's mask. So, yeah. Oh, well. Anyways, so back to where we at. I just thought it was cool. I like that symbol a lot. It's really awesome. There's this chick that I watch. She does violin recreations of video game songs.
Mm-hmm.
And she's stupid fucking talented. And she's a hardcore gamer and a hardcore collector. And she has this stand behind her, much like mine, where it actually has like replicas of like all the shields from Zelda, and that's one of them that she has up there, and it looks so fucking good. Oh, it looks so good. I get jealous every time I see it. I'm like, god damn it. Anyways, one day. But so moving on into our Forest Temple. So we move in there, and the first thing that we're going to run into is this little monkey. So she's the only she, because all the other monkeys we rescue do not have the flowers. So my guess is that's their difference between she and he, because they all look exactly the fucking same, besides that one feature. And then the captain is kind of more, he's a monkey, but he's more baboonish because his ass is a lot bigger and redder. And the only reason I'm pointing that out is because it is a big taunting thing he does to you in the game constantly. So yeah, there's a lot of turning around and just spanking his ass and like spank you and go fuck yourself, Link. Yeah, it's a lot of that shit going on. So yeah, it's great. And then whenever you down him and attack him, you actually attack his ass. You're actually hitting his ass with your sword. It's so funny.
Why was this necessary? Doesn't matter.
I don't know, but it's fucking hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, these monkeys, right? So starting out with her. She is actually very familiar to us. We briefly touched on it, so she might not be very familiar to you. But she was at the very beginning of the game whenever the one kid got caught by the monkeys and Link had to go in there into the forest with Epona and save him. Mm-hmm. Yes, she was the monkey he was following.
Aw.
Or not, didn't get caught by the monkeys, got caught by the goblins. My bad. The hoblins. Yeah, those guys. So, yeah, that was the monkey because she was also captured by them as well. So you get to her, and basically you walk in, and she tells you about the fact that, her chief has kind of gone crazy, that something is on his head and now he's crazy, and that she's trying to figure out what's going on. You walk in and you see this long, long, long bridge. She starts running down it. Then you see the chief, and he throws his weapon and it cuts the string. She manages to jump back over to you in just a matter of time before she falls to her death. And there's the chief. Ook is his name. She didn't have a name. She's just monkey. But yeah, Ook.
Huh.
And his red ass. Yeah, that guy. So, cuts the strings, and now you have to find a different way around, because, that's every Zelda game is like, hey, here's the clear path to the boss, and this is what you want to do, but we're going to make you go do fucking everything else. And then
Of
come back
course.
here.
Yep.
Exactly. Right? Okay. So, he cuts the string, she makes it back to you, and then you start going through the temple. Basically, this monkey has captured all of his underlings, if you will, and you are basically going around and saving all of them. It is pretty much the whole thing that you're doing in this entire dungeon. And the reason why is because there's a lot of these bridges that are collapsed, and there's these ropes and stuff like that. And so basically what the monkeys do is they jump up and hang by their feet and then grab you and swing you to the next monkey. And then you go, and that's how you're getting back and forth and across like all these different places in the dungeon until you get back to the very last one. You got like fucking 8 of them with you, and they do kind of like the whole like barrel of monkeys where they're the long string all the way down, and then you jump and they just fucking swing you to the other fucking side. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, so you do that, and you end up finally getting back to Mr. Ook here, who you have to fight. What he does is that there are these little piranha plants on the ceiling that are hanging down. He throws his boomerang, cuts them, they fall, hit the ground, and start crawling towards you. You have to try to fight them off while also watching out for this boomerang. The reason why I say you have to watch out for this boomerang is this boomerang actually makes a tornado with it as it goes.
Oh.
So you have like this wind tornado that fucking flies at you as well. So the way to beat him is that he's standing on top of these like pillars, and you can't get up there. But what you can do is roll into one and make him kind of like lose his footing, and he'll try to stable himself. If you do it right before he goes to catch his boomerang, the boomerang will then hit him in the face and knock him off. And then he'll fall down, and then you can attack him. And then he'll jump up and do it again. And Zelda is definitely one of those games that's always the rule of 3. So whatever you do, you have to do it 3 times, and then you beat whatever it is that you're doing. So you do that, and then the shadow insect that is on his head falls off and dies. And then he is basically like, holy shit, what's going on? And then he's back to normal. So
The original head crab.
Correct. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
The original.
Don't worry about it. Keep going.
All right. Anyways, so yeah, whatever you said. So, then he leaves the boomerang for you, which I had a little bit of a nicer, more up close picture of the boomerang. So yeah, as you can see, it looks like a wing. It's got obviously the wind power to it. What is cool is that whenever you're fighting, whenever you go to do ranged attacks in Zelda, you can lock on to enemies if you want to, and then do it. I never do that. I always try to just freehand it. But with this, that wasn't an option unless you were just doing one hit. But with this one, what you could do is like, let's say there's a thing over here that you need to blow up, like a crack in the wall, right? It's higher than you are, and you can't throw bombs high enough to get up there for them to blow up. But there's like, a bomb plant over here. You can throw the boomerang, auto lock onto that, and then auto lock for that to be its second destination. It will pick up the bomb will start going, and then it will run directly into the wall, blow up, and then the boomerang will come back down to you.
Okay, so it was 2-stage puzzles, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, just for the boomerang. Yeah, just for the boomerang. So, anyways, so we knock that out, and then we start moving forward. Now we're ready for our boss. Like we that was our mini boss. We're ready for like our actual boss.
Cool.
So our actual boss is called Dai Baba, and it is this gigantic fucking piranha plant with 2 small piranha plant hands. This thing is in the water, by the way. so you really don't see like the whole bottom of it. Like the flower petals is probably as high up as it comes out of the water.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, so you have to constantly make sure that those side things aren't biting you. Your whole goal is to attack and kill the eye that's in its mouth. That's its weak spot. The eye that's at the edge of the tongue. There's another picture.
The eyes that
Yeah,
are just never where they're supposed to be. Those are usually the weak
exactly.
spot.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a rope out, and so the is actually coming through with a bomb, and you're doing the whole boomerang thing that I was talking about, where you're locking on here and then locking onto its face. It's falling down, and then you attack the eye while it's staggered, and then so on and so forth.
Got it.
Yep, until you beat it. And then once you beat it, it drops a heart container, like always. And once you pick up a heart container, you pick up your first piece of the fused shadow. This is not something that we've talked about before. This is something that's brand new, and it was a little mysterious in the game, so we'll keep the mystery going with it as well. So I won't explain too much about it, but there's the fused shadow. All you need to know at this point is that that is what Minda is looking for.
Uh-huh.
She grabs it. She goes, "Great, that's what I'm looking for." And there are 3 pieces.
Okay.
So, yep, and that would line up perfectly with the last 2 pieces being with the last 2 Light Guardians, or at least with the bosses of the temples of the last 2 Light Guardians. So yeah, and then you grab that, you hightail it, get the fuck out of there, and that temple is done. All the twilight is removed off of that part of the map, and you can now freely roam through there however you want to. And then we will be on to our next location in the next episode.
Fantastic. Then that will do it for the 24th episode in our Zelda semester. If you enjoyed this content, like, subscribe, comment, please comment. And turn on notifications so you know when to come to class. We will see
Yes.
you in one of the forms of social media. We've also got we've got various things down below with comments and Twitch links and Twitter links and all that jazz, and a merch link. Go interact with one of those. Surprise us which one you want to interact with, and it'll be great. And we will see you in the next class of Dead Funny University. Bye, friends.